Stay Gurubhyo Namaga children, you are welcome for online class Ekkalaiva. Class 11, this is your 4th unit Prose. The lesson name is tight corner. What do you mean by tight corner? It's a phrasal verb. What do you mean by tight corner? Now something which is very critical situation. You have been escaped. So the author also faced something in this list. What is his problem? Why he felt a tight corner situation? So sometimes when you are going to a hotel and you are not having money, your friend had called you and you also gone along with your friends, and you all add, and all of a sudden they know that you are not having a money. To make a fun, just think over, they left you at the dining table when you are eating, and they all just went and eyed, or to make a fun with you, they are just going. You just think over, they were not seen in front of you. What will be your situation? You will be feeling very sad. You will be in a tight corner. You don't know how to pay the bill. The same here also. The situation faced by the, not same situation, but a tight corner situation he was having by himself. Just think over that you and your friends were just coming and later they are paying. For that 1 minute or 1 second, how your situation will be? You will be just thinking what to do. You will be thinking 10,000 things in your mind how to pay the bill. Then you will be thinking, okay, I will ask the owner to give the phone, and I will call my father and I will make him to come and pay the thing. Or so many things will be running in your mind. I have a pocket money, I will tell my brother to bring that money so that I can pay. So you will be just thinking 10,000 things in your mind in a tight corner situation. So here also the author faces the same. He and his friend just goes on a walk, and all of a sudden he just enters a auction. So you know that there will be a place where paintings and other things all will be given as an auction. You know what is an auction? So they will be just selling for starting rate will be for 10 rupees, means then others will be saying 100 and 200, 300, 500, and it will be going for the highest amount. And when somebody is just calling, asking for the highest amount, they will be just over, and nobody is asking for that. Suppose 10,000 is the amount. The owner of that thing, and there will be a person who is an officer who is just for that, he will be just ringing a bell 3 times and he'll be saying the amount 3 times, and you have to pay the bill and get that thing. That is called auction. So here the same way the auction had been taking place, and he and his friend were just going on, and he was not having amount in his pocket, very less money he was having, but he went for a fun. What he is doing, the author is just asking for the auction, and when it was he asked, they all stopped. So they are going to say for 3 times and they are going to give. So that was a critical situation for him. At the right moment, his friend was just goes and hides somewhere. Just think over the situation of him. So that was a tight corner he faced, and he is talking in this lesson about that situation. We are going to learn. Before that, we will see who is the author and what is the thing. Edward Vernon Lucas was an English humorist, essayist, playwright, biographer, publisher, poet, novelist, short story writer, and editor. He was a prolific writer, most celebrated for his short essays. So he was a great, and he was known for his short essays. But he also produced verses, novels, and plays. In Tight Corner, he narrates the story of how he was rescued from immolation at the house of a sudden stroke of luck. So he was just explaining in this lesson how he had been very lucky. So he was little lucky, he was in a tight corner, and some luck was there, and that made him to escape from that situation. Okay, we will see in the lesson about that. Shall we go to the lesson? Okay. So they have just given you, children, you will be knowing for sale, anything is there. This is auction, and here how you will be just making an auction that has been just given. So you will be enter the sale room, you will be just entering the sale room where the items are displayed for sale. Then decide the item you wish to buy, then get a card with a registration number from the staff. The auctioneer opens by quoting a price for each article, and then what you will say, each buyer holds up his or her card and states a price which is higher than the opinion price. Then what will happen? The auction continues with each bidder. So there will be a bidder quoting a higher price until the item is considered sold. So each person will be just bidding, and when each one is bidding, it will be just taken to the highest amount. The deal is closed with the highest bidding price. The highest price is announced thrice. So the highest price will be announced thrice, and the highest bidder finally goes to the clerk and hands over the card, and the payment is made by check or any other approved mode of payment, and the article is considered sold. So this will be taking place in the for a sale any product in the auction method. So it is very clear, children. We will go to the lesson. Okay. In the tight corner, E.V. Lucas narrates the story of how he was rescued from humiliation at an auction house by a sudden stroke of luck. Let's read on and get to know how he got himself in the tight corner and found his way out of that situation. So we'll be just finding out in this lesson, he was in a tight corner and how luck favored him and how he had been escaped. Okay, children, we'll just read and we'll get the explanation about the lesson. The talk was running on the critical situation in which we had found ourselves, those of us whose lives were adventurous enough to comprise any. One man had been caught by the right in Britannia and escaped by the skin of teeth. Another had been on the elephant when a wound tiger charged at it. Another had been on an elephant when wounded tiger charged at it. A third had been on the top story of a burning house. A fourth was torpedoed in the war. So he was telling the situations when the people faced their tight corners. So just imagine one man had been caught by the tide in Britannia and escaped. So in the place called Britannia, he was caught in the tide and he was escaped from the skin of his teeth. So skin of his teeth is an idiom, that is, we'll say in very narrow escape. It had been very narrow escape. Death was going to happen in that fraction of a second he had been escaped. So that is the meaning for the skin of his is an idiom. So here in a narrow escape he had been escaped. Another had been on an elephant when a wounded tiger charged. So a wounded tiger was there and one was sitting on the elephant when a wounded tiger charged at it. So it was, you know, that a tiger was just attacking an elephant, but he was sitting on the elephant. Just think over, he was not on the elephant. Think of his imagination. So the tiger which was wounded just started attacking. All the attack or wound was only for the elephant, not for him, because he was sitting on the elephant. A third had been on the top story of burning house. Just think over, a house is burning down and you were at the top of the third floor. A fourth was trapped in the war. So a person was in the middle of the war. You just think over. Both the side enemies were shooting at their firing at each other. At the middle of you were dropped. Just think over. So, or the soldier who was narrowly escaped from the war. So these were the situations he is escaping is just telling to you how those people had escaped the same situation he also just. But you all, said one of the companions, those tight corners were always physical affairs. Surely they can be tighter when they are mental. The tightest corner I was ever in was at Christie. So he's saying that those tight corners were physical. It was not about mental, but the author faced the situation, a mental tight corner. So he was not able to pay the money. So at the right situation, luck happened. So he was escaped from that bad situation. So he was talking about that. But you all talk, said one of the companion, as though tight corner were always physical affairs. This is all about physical affairs, but he underwent a mental agony when he was not able to pay, or he was not having money to pay it. So that he was talking about in this lesson. They are mental. The tightest corner I was ever in was at Christie. So Christie is the place he had just made a tight corner situation. Christie's, yes. I had been lunching rather well at a club in St. James Street. So what he was saying, yes, I had been lunching. So a friend had taken him for a lunch and he was on the way rather well at a club in St. James Street. It was a St. James Street with an old friend from abroad. So our old friend came from abroad and he had just called him for a lunch, and they were just walking on the James Street and passing along King Street. So they were just walking on the James Street and they were passing King Street. Afterwards, he persuaded me to look in at the sale room. So here the King Street, the friend said, why can't we go and see the sale room? Just have a look and come out. The place was full. So it was very full. You know that so many people will be there for just getting the products or something, or painting or anything which is very important for them. It is just on the sale, so they will be getting in the auction. So these author and his friend went for a lunch and they had a trouble when they entered the sale room. Okay. They were selling Barbizon pictures and getting tremendous sums for each. 2,000, 3,000 for little bit of things. Forest scenes, pools at evening, shepherdess, the regular subject. So it was an auction of paintings, and you know it is selling Barbizon pictures and getting tremendous sums of each. They were getting tremendous amount for it. 2,000, 3,000 for little bits of drawing things. So it is a little bit of things, but for that they were getting 2,000, 3,000 pounds like that. What are the things of the painting? It is a painting of a forest scenes. So it is a scenery of forest, pools at evening, and shepherdess, the regular subject. These were the regular subject. For that 2,000, 3,000 pounds they were getting it. Okay, you know that when ordinary thing for other person, it will be extraordinary for the person who is interested in drawings. Nothing went for 3 figures at all. So nothing went for 3 figures at all. So 100, no hundreds, only all about 1,000 pounds above. So well, we watched for a little while and then I found myself bidding too, just for fun. I had exactly 63 pounds in the bank and not enough security to borrow 500 on, and here I was nodding away to the auctioneer like a blatocrat. You know, sometimes when you were in a different situation, you'll be just nodding and you'll be pretending that as if you're so rich. But actually in his pocket he was having a less amount. We want things for 100, 3-digit numbers, only that much amount he was having, but nothing was there for that. So all going 4-digit numbers, that is 2,000, 3,000, even simple drawings have been just so cost, And he and his friend went inside, and he was just nodding as if he was having a money and he was a very rich person to get a drawing there, one drawing there from that place. So he was just nodding and standing, and auctioneer like a blottocrat. So he was one like a blottocrat. Okay. You all get caught, my friend said to me. No, I shan't, I said. I'm not going to run any risk. So his friend was just suggesting him not to do that, advising him not to do. You'll be get caught, he was saying. But the author was not listening to him. He says that it is so simple, I can manage. And he was saying that, I said I'm not going to run any risk. It's simple thing, I'll be asking, somebody will be asking, and it will be get over, no problem for me. So I will not be in risk, he was just telling. And for a long time I didn't, and then a picture was put up and a short red-faced man in a new top hat, some well-known dealer who had bought quite a number, electrified the room by starting the bidding at a figure a little higher than any that he had yet given or that anything had reached. So there was a person, and for a long time I didn't. So he had not done anything for a long time, he was just standing. And then a picture was put up. So they have just put a next picture, put up, and a short red-faced man in a new top hat. So there was a man, he was short red-faced, he was short man, and he was having a red face, and in a new top hat, he was having a top hat, and it was very new. Some well-known dealers and other well-known dealers were there who had bought quite a number. So they bought quite a number of pictures. Electrified the room by starting the bidding. So they were just electrifying, means making it energetic and very interesting, and they were just asking, that it was just going on. One asked for 1,000, the other one was 2,000, like that it was just going. 1,200, 1,300, like that each person was just bidding. Who had bought quite number, electrified the room by stating the bidding at a figure a little higher than any that he had yet given or that anything had reached. So whatever reached to the place for the sale, he was just giving the higher amount. So he was just telling the higher amount, and that person was just uttering a word, higher number. Although the previous lots had run into 4 figures, they had all been modestly started at 50 guineas or 100 guineas with a gradual crescendo to which I had often been safely contributing. But no sooner was a new picture displayed than the dealer made a sensational bid, 4,000 guineas, he said. So although the previous lots had run into 4 figures, all the number was just run in 4 figures, they had all been modestly started at 50 guineas. So it started with 50 guineas and it reached for 4 figures, or 100 guineas with the gradual crescendo to which I had often been safely contributing. He was just safely contributing. But no sooner was a new picture displayed than the dealer made a sensational bid, 4,000 guineas, he said. So other things all were just going for 100 and 100 and hundreds and then 1,000. But here immediately when it started with 50 guineas, immediately a person said 4,000 guineas, he said. There was a rustle of excitement, and at the end of it I heard my own voice saying, and 50. So here the author was not keeping quiet here, he started stating. So when some person with a higher amount, 4,000 guineas, he said, it started with 50 guineas, 100, and immediately someone was raising, it is 4,000 guineas, and now he thought that if he is asking for 50, again that person will be just raising. So the author, there was a rustle of excitement, and at the end of it, I heard my own voice saying, and 50. So here 4,000 and 50 he just uttered. And it was not the other person's voice, it was the author's voice, and the author just asked another 50% keeping, and he was asking an auction. A terrible silence followed, during which the auctioneer looked inquiringly first at the opener and then at the company generally. So all became silent now. No one had a guts to ask more than that. But here the author said that 4,050, he said, and it was his own voice, and in all place there was silence, and they were just stopping, and which the auctioneer looked inquiringly first at the opener and then at the company generally. So he was just seeing the opener who opened the mouth, and then he seeing the audience, and he was looking the company generally. So he was looking. So now it was the situation that he had asked for 4,050 guineas, and let us see in the next part whether the author is able to pay the amount and get, or somebody come and saved him. So let us see in the next part, children. To receive our online lessons, please press the subscribe button and you will receive the latest updates. Thank you, children. We'll meet in the next class with the next part. Until then, bye. Thank you.